Welcome to the Mitel Connect Communication Training Series. Today's topic includes the buttons on the phone, how they operate, and voicemail. Let's get started. These are the new 6900 series phones. The typical phones we install are the 6920 and the 6930. The major difference between these two phones is the number of keys that you find around the display. On the 6930, there are additional buttons to the right of the display and one extra soft key below the display. The functionality that we discuss in today's training is the same regardless of which phone model you have. There are three types of keys on the phone. There are flexible keys, which are found to the left and right of the display. These flexible keys are programmable, so we can change what they do. The soft keys are the buttons that are immediately below the display. These keys have preset functions, but they change depending on the condition of the phone. So if you're making or taking a call, you'll have different options available for you that will show in the display immediately above these buttons. You simply press the button to access the feature. Across the bottom half of the phone are the fixed keys. These are the buttons that are fixed functions and they cannot be changed. That does include the navigational wheel, which allows us to scroll up and down, left and right on lists and features that are on the screen. On the flexible keys, typically we program call appearances. You'll see the buttons light up next to the features that are listed in the display. The first couple of buttons in the upper left side are left open for incoming and outgoing calls, also called call appearances. There is a status bar across the top of the screen that shows us the connectivity to the network, if we have our headset engaged, missed calls, voicemail, Bluetooth connectivity, any status or feature updates are shown on this status bar. Depending on your organization, we may program other features such as a record or a call forward key. We might program a direct station select. The examples that you see here include Vanessa, David, Jennifer, and Bob. These are individuals that I can see if they're on the phone, touch the key to call them, and also use that key to transfer a call if I'm actively speaking with a caller. We can also program outside telephone numbers on keys, like Brightstar and Ajax Printing that you see here on this example. These are one-touch buttons that allow me to call those places and transfer calls to those outside telephone numbers. Keep in mind, of course, because it is an outside organization, we can't see if they're on the phone. Now, the fixed keys that you'll find across the bottom are on the left and right-hand side of the dial pad. On the left side, in this example expanded, you see that there is a directory key, a call history key, voicemail button, settings for the phone, and the volume bar. On the right-hand side, there is the goodbye key, which is the little red handset, the redial button, the hold key, the mute key, and the speaker. The speakerphone controls the microphone where your voice goes in and the speaker where the caller's voice comes out. Keep in mind, these are very powerful speakers that they have on these phones and will pick up all ambient noise around you. So you want to be sure if there are other people talking or laughing, coughing, music playing, or any other noise like tapping on a desk, that you're aware of that when you're speaking on the phone. Let's talk a little bit about how to use these keys on the phone to make, take, and transfer calls. To answer an incoming call, you can either lift the handset or you can press the answer key, which you see as a soft key. Again, these features are at the bottom of the screen and correspond to the soft keys below the screen. So I could simply press the answer button to answer that call. I can also use my speaker key if I want to have a speaker conversation with the incoming caller. When I'm done with the call, of course, I can just replace the handset in the cradle, or I could hit the goodbye key if I want to dial another number. To dial numbers, You can begin to dial immediately on the dial pad, or you can lift the handset. Internal numbers, simply dial the extension to reach them. If you want to reach an external caller, you're going to dial 9 or the assigned dial code for your organization, and then the outside number. In any case, whether I'm placing or answering a phone call, I can adjust the volume by using the volume bar that's on the lower left part of the fixed keys. The volume bar raises or lowers the ringing and the conversational volume. So if I'm talking to someone, this becomes a conversational volume. If I hear my phone ringing, this adjusts the ringing volume of my calls. And the settings will stay where you leave them until you change them. While I'm actively on a phone call, I can use my hold or mute key if I need to put the call on hold or I need to mute my end of the conversation. I can press the hold button to put the call on hold, and the caller hears hold music. I can press the hold key again, or the button where the call is holding, or unhold, which is one of my soft keys, to retrieve that call. If I need to just mute my end of the conversation, then I'm going to press the mute key, which is right below the hold fixed key. Mute will simply mute the volume and audio on my end of the conversation. I can still hear the caller fine. If the caller stops talking, they're going to hear silence, and it'll sound like they've been hung up on. To return to that two-way conversation, you simply press the mute again, and now you and the caller can both hear each other. Once I've hung up from a call, I can use my redial button, which is above the hold fixed key, if I want to redial the last number that I've called. When I press redial once, I get a list on my screen of recent calls that I've made, and I can use the navigational keys to go up and down that list and then select the dial button to place that call. If I tap redial 2 times, then I'm immediately dialing the last call I placed again. Now keep in mind, when I dial a number from redial, that call goes immediately. But if I'm actually dialing a number when I am making a phone call, there is a short pause before the call is placed. So I might use the dial key to make the call process quicker. Now, when I'm actively on a phone call, I have options on my soft keys, which include transferring. So if I need to send that call to someone else internally or externally, I simply press the transfer soft key while I'm talking to the caller. Then I dial the internal or 9 and external number, and then I can announce the call to the recipient. When I'm ready to officially send the call to them, I can hit the transfer soft key again, and that makes the transfer complete. If you are transferring a call to an outside number, I highly recommend that you remain on the line and announce the call to the recipient, because the recipient knows the call is coming to them, but the caller has no idea they're being transferred to a cell phone. So we want to make sure that connection takes place. Now, in the course of transferring, you may need to send a call directly to someone's voicemail. Of course, this would be for internal recipients. So we would follow the same steps of pressing the transfer soft key while we're on the phone with the caller. We would dial their extension number. Keep in mind that I can press pre-programmed keys if I need to. Once I have dialed their extension, I am going to hit the More soft key, which has 2 dots, one of which is highlighted in blue. This More soft key tells me that I have more features available on soft key, and if I press this button, new options will appear. So once I've hit the transfer and I've dialed the extension, I can hit the More key, and 1 of my options will say 2 VM. to voicemail. When I press that 2VM key, it will send the call immediately to voicemail. During this transfer process, it's a very short time that I have to hit the more and the to voicemail soft key. So I need to make sure that I'm following those steps consistently and not pausing too long, or the transfer will get started. Now, there is another feature that is available, and that feature is called Park. Park is the ability to put a call on hold. So if I have a call that's actively on the phone, I can press the Park soft key, dial the extension, and press the Park soft key again. This is very similar to the transfer, but instead of transferring and making the call ring, I'm actually putting the call on hold at the recipient's phone. When I park the call, it will sit there for up to 2 minutes and then come back to me if the recipient doesn't pick it up. The only indication that they get that there's a call parked and holding on their phone is a single ring after about 10 or so seconds. Otherwise, there's no other alert other than a flashing key where the call is holding. Park would be more like I need to handle that call and not just let voicemail pick it up. I need to locate that person. That's when I would use the Park key. Now, if I am at another phone in the building and one of the staff members contacts me and tells me that I have a call parked on my phone, I don't have to walk back to my phone to get it. I can unpark that call from wherever I'm at. So in the same way that when I'm actively on a call, there's a key that says park, when the phone is idle, there is a key that says unpark. And when I press the unpark soft key, dial my extension, and press unpark again, I pull that parked call to wherever I'm at. I like to refer to this type of hold as a mobile hold or a system hold, so I can put it on any phone and retrieve it from any phone using the Park feature. Conferencing, instead of just having a two-way conversation, opens it up for another party to be involved in the call. Again, when the phone is idle, I do have a conference key, and when I'm on the phone with someone, I have a conference key. I would press that conference key after I have called the first party, and then it will allow me to call another party, and I press the conference key again, and then the OK or confirm soft key so that all parties are brought together on a call. This is one way to make a conference call. The way that I prefer is to call each individual party separately. So I call party A, I put them on hold. I call party B, I put them on hold. And then I now get a soft key that says merge. I can merge all of the held conversations by hitting this merge soft key. It will ask me to hit the OK or confirm key just like I do with a conference call, but then it brings the parties together. This way, I call all the parties separately and they only hear each other once I've merged the calls together. Other features that you'll find when the phone is idle includes the availability state, which is another soft key. The soft key enables me to change my status so that it says, instead of available to my colleagues in the building, I can be in a meeting, out of office, on vacation, D&D, which is do not disturb, or any kind of custom setting. These modes are edited in your Connect desktop program or by your system administrator. In order to change my state, I simply press the state key and I use the navigational keys to go up and down the list of available states in the screen, and then I select OK for the state that I want. Again, I can edit these modes, meaning if I put myself out of office, I can use this to immediately forward all my calls to my cell phone. So when I select out of office, my calls are forwarded to my cell phone, and my team internally knows that I am out of the office. makes communication a little easier. Now, the call pickup key, which is labeled as pickup on one of the soft keys on the phone, allows me to pick up a ringing call that's at another phone. So if I'm standing by my colleague's desk and I hear my phone ringing, I could either run and grab my phone, or wherever I am, hit pick up my extension number and pick up again. If I want to use true call forwarding, I can select that as one of the options. The options key is immediately above the volume bar on the left-hand side of the fixed keys. When I select options, please note you will need to put your voicemail password in to access these settings. Call forward is one of the settings I can select, and I can choose whether to always, only if I'm busy for internal or external, or if I don't answer internal or external calls. So I can set these destinations differently if I wish. There are ringtones that I can select on the phone, and I do have internal and external ringtones. So once I've hit my options key and my list of options is on the screen, I would select ringtones, and then I could go to the right using the right navigational key and select which tone I want for internal and external calls. On headset, if I want the audio path to be on my headset that's plugged into my phone instead of the speaker, then I'm going to choose headset mode. So I need to use audio path on my options in order to select where my audio goes. If I want to use the additional feature keys that I have, which are the directory and the call history, I would select the directory key, and then I could look at my enterprise, which is the staff list. Enterprise means within your phone system. Mobile means external contacts. I could look at either one of these lists. And if I'm looking at the enterprise list, then what I see are the names, the extension numbers, and I get a little tiny indication of the availability state. So this directory list will actually let me see if that person is available. So I don't necessarily need them on a key. I've got that available in my directory. If I use the call history, I can select which category of calls I want to look at. Do I want to look at all, missed, outgoing, or received? I choose that category, and then I go to the right to look at the list. We are highlighted on all right now, and so we get an indication by this arrow whether this was a missed call, that looks like a bounce check mark, an outgoing call, which is up and out, and a down and in arrow for an incoming. Now, one other feature that I want to mention about the phones, these apply to the 6930 and the 6940 phones, is that I can program the additional keys by pressing and holding them. When I press and hold, it gives me which feature I want to program. Speed call, which is an outside telephone number. DSS, which is an internal extension number. There are other features that I can program, and I can select from a list of those features that are on the screen. Again, this does not apply to the 6920. And now the wonderful world of voicemail. From your desk phone, you're going to press the voicemail key, and then you can go ahead and input your password for quick access to just your voicemail messages. If you need to reach the full voicemail menu, press the Dial VM soft key. The Dial VM or Dial Voicemail soft key will allow you to input your password via an audio prompt, and then you will gain access to the full voicemail menu. If you're at another phone on the system, you can press that voicemail key or pound, and then the system will prompt for a password. Ignore that prompt and press pound. It will then ask you for your mailbox or station number. They are the same thing. And then it will ask you for your password, followed by pound. In the same way, if you're outside the office, dial the main voicemail access number. When the system answers, press pound. You will be prompted for your mailbox or station number, and then for your password, followed by pound. The first time you set up your voicemail, use the full access, which is to press the voicemail key and then the dial VM key in order to gain access to the full voicemail menu. You will be prompted to record your name, which is used for the company directory, and then you will be prompted for your password, which is a 4 or more digit combination. You'll need to re-enter your password to confirm it. Now, these two items, name and password, are automatically prompted, but the third setup item is not. Once you have gained access to the full menu, press 7 to go to mailbox options and then 1 to record your greeting. This will complete the mailbox setup. The sample that you see here on the screen is just one version of many that you can use for your voicemail message, but the three main items to convey are your name, you're not available, and leave a message at the tone. Please make sure to state your name in this greeting because your name is not used as part of this full greeting. So we want to make sure that when they hear your full message, they are hearing your name as well. This is the main voicemail menu when you gain full access. You press 1 to listen to new messages, 2 to send a message to someone else in the system, 3 to listen to saved messages, and 7 for mailbox options. As we discussed a moment ago, when you gain access to this for the first time, press 7 and then press 1 to record your greeting. From this mailbox options list, you can also choose 2 to change your availability state. So if you go home and then realize, oops, I forgot to put myself in vacation mode, you can dial into the voicemail system and change your state from home. You can also hit 4 for your password or 6 for your name to change either of those initial setup items. And from this menu, you can also select 7 to listen to deleted messages. Keep in mind, deleted messages hang around in the system for about a day and then they're gone forever. The mailbox itself only has 1 hour total of storage, and that includes new, saved, and deleted messages. These Mitel voicemail boxes are not set up for long-term storage. The copies of your voicemail that are sent to your email or that you can download from your desktop client will allow you to get that audio file of voicemail message and save it in your computer for long term. Now, if we go back out to the main voicemail menu and up to option 3, these are saved messages. Saved messages include those that you have hit the save option for or that you hung up on. So if you were listening to a message and you hang up the phone, it will automatically drop to the saved category, and you will have to press 3 from the menu to get back to it. You would press 1 to listen to new messages. Regardless of which choice you selected, you have all of these options listed here while or after listening to the message. 1 will replay the entire message, 2 will save it, and 3 will delete it. Remember, deleted are there for a day and then gone. You can press 4 to forward a copy of that message to another internal recipient and hit 5 to reply, whether it's internal or external. I like this feature because if I'm off-site checking my voicemail, I can hit 5 to reply, and then I can reply with a callback. What this will do is disconnect me from voicemail, save the message, grab an outside line, grab the caller ID from the caller's message, and dial it for me. So it looks like I'm calling from the office, and I didn't have to write the number down and hang up and call it back from wherever I'm at. 7 and 9 are my mailbox buddies. These are the ones that allow me to back up and fast forward in 5-second increments. If someone rattles off a telephone number too quickly for me to write down in a message, I can either hit 1 and replay the entire message, or I can hit 7 and go back 5 seconds every time I tap the 7 key. So if I want to go back 10 or 15 seconds, then I just need to hit the key 2 or 3 times. Same way with forward. This is a 5-second jump. So if I know that the information I need is at the end of the message, I can forward through the majority of it and get to the part I need. Oops, if I went too far, I can just hit 7 and go back. You can also hit pound to skip the message and leave that voicemail as a new one in your mailbox, or even pause it if someone walks up to you. Thank you for joining us today. Visit us at prooncall.com or call 800 362 6300 if you need support. Have a great day.